Hi everybody, thank you for joining me tonight on Miniature Monthly. I'm Matt DiPietro, and tonight we're going to be talking about a basing technique I like to call the magic goop. And using this technique, we can simulate some interesting effects and use them to base up whole armies in a very quick and easy sort of way. One effect I always struggled with was to create like forest floors with lots of leaves and leaf litter, roots, and that sort of thing. Um, and I came up with this little method to do this easily and for a lot of figures. The main ingredient in my magic goop is this acrylic fine pumice gel medium. This acts as like a medium for paint, so you can mix in paint or powdered pigments like we're going to do. It acts as like a glue and hold it all together and give it a nice sort of flat finish as well. And we're going to mix up some of our forest floor goop in this little container. Added to that goop, we're going to add some root material, which I've gathered here. You really only have to find a few places to. You only need to gather a little bit of this root material because a little bit goes a long way, you know. So just keep your eyes open for, these sorts of roots and things from plants. So we're going to use that, and we're also going to use some of this. These are birch seed pods. They come from birch trees. I have some in my front yard, so I was able to, when they seeded, gather some of these, and chances are that you'll have some birch trees somewhere nearby. And when they do seed, they put out so much seed in one year that you can just gather up as much as you want, and you'll have a store of birch seed pods that'll last you forever. Some companies also have dyed these and are selling them as little leaf litter packs. Usually they cost quite a bit, so I like to gather my own from birch trees, but you can always paint these and give them some different colors if you want to. But for these, they're going to be like muddy leaves that we're creating our forest floor, because when the leaves fall, they usually get rained on and mixed in with the mud. So that's kind of the effect that we want. And then we're going to put some fresh leaves on top of those. But the forest floor should just be a collection of leaves and mud and root material. So we're going to take some of our goop, put it in here, mix in some water. A hardy portion of these birch seed pods, and a bunch of this root material. And then some this secret weapon green earth pigment. I like that. That's a good earth tone to use. And give this a nice color. We're going to mix that all together. It's all mixed together. So to apply this to your models, all you have to do is take an old brush and pick some of this goop up. You can see it's all kind of mixed together. You have roots and leaves and all that together. Just paint it onto your base. The pumice gel medium will hold it to your base and glue all the material down, giving it this nice muddy brown color. That's all that is on there. Looks like a good big goopy mess. We're going to be kind of using a dry brush and just spreading it out. Alright. Now what's going to happen is as this dries, it will contract and you'll be able to see all those leaves creating our forest floor. We're just going to have to let that dry. Well, the next goop I want to make is going to represent a destroyed city, something that's been bombed up. So we're going to use some fine pumice gel, just like in our last goop. To colorize this, we're going to use a little bit of this exhaust black and ash gray pigments from Secret Weapon. A little sand, and some of these, a little sand, and some of these bricks. This is nice bricks from Juwila. You kind of see these nice little guys. You can break them up into bits. They're really useful for doing this. So yeah, let's just take a little bit of the pumice paste to start us out here. A little bit of color. I'm going to start by coloring this so we can kind of see what color it's going to be. More gray, maybe. Now we got our bits. I'm also going to break up some of this balsa wood. Make little scraps of wood that might have been blown up in our destroyed city. Yeah, just break those up real good. Little bits of wood in there. Just some balsa wood. Let's add some water. Some grit. Let's take some of these bricks. We can put in some whole ones. And we'll break some into chunks. If you want to make this easier, you have a little mortar and pestle. You can use that to break up those bricks. A little easier on the hands that way. It's just a big dirty pile down there. And pick up some of this goop and you want to use it. I think I'll put some of this this guy's base. Just paint it on there. Remember, the gel medium will act as a glue, so all should get glued down there. When you wash your brush off, if we come in here, you can start to brush away and reveal some of the bits that we hid in there, like that wood and those bricks. That'd be a nice, natural-looking pile of objects. Kind of move them around until they're in an arrangement that you like. So that was pretty quick, and once that dries, we can even add some snow and some other objects. Well, here we have the dried goop. You can kind of see how that looks. You can see how it has all of the little leaves and root material in there. Really looks like an interesting sort of forest floor already. And, you know, it didn't take very long to get that on there. So, to make it look even better, we're going to take some of this green earth pigment powder from Secret Weapon. This is the same color we used, we mixed in with the pumice paste to glue down all of the leaf material. But we're just going to put some on top of this, and because we use that pumice paste, it'll actually stick really well. So this will kind of give us a drier look. You don't have to put it everywhere. And it'll give us a little bit more tonality. You could, of course, use a different color if you wanted a different colored earth. And because it's the pumice paste, it actually sticks really well to that because it's really rough. So you don't even need to use fixative on it because it's so such a rough surface. But if you prefer using fixative, you can still stick it on there really well with the fixative if you feel like you must. And then I want to put some some more leaves on here to make it look like there's some fresh leaves that have fallen over top of this. And it'll look even more realistic if we can do that. So to do that, it's a fairly easy technique here. We just take some of our super glue. Maybe choose out some interesting spots to stick some of the fresh leaves down. Try to make it sort of random without a pattern, something like that. We can take some of these leaves, just sprinkle on top. You can tap it off and see what we have. If you want to be really meticulous, you can always use some tweezers and really place them in there very carefully. But I think it gives it a nice sort of two-tone effect. Yeah. And these leaves can even be painted once they've dried. We put a little bit more there. I'll let that super glue dry there for a moment. Pull out our little dwarf buddy here. Right. We can see maybe, let's get the camera to focus there. And we can see the nice little basing effect we have got there so easily, so simply. Now I want to do a little bit of snow effect on there too. So what we're going to do is I have a little bit of this Woodland Scenic snow effect. It looks pretty nice in the container, but really all it is this really fine, really short static grass. So it's like made out of plastic. So it will stay white and you don't have to worry about it changing color over time like you would with baking soda. So we're going to take just some super glue. Since it's plastic, it can just get glued down by the super glue, no problem. And just dab a little bit of glue where we think snow might be sticking. Once dry, once you're waiting for it to dry, you can always remove a little bit. I wanted to see a little bit of that brick peeking out, so we always just kind of move it around. No, it doesn't. You kind of see it doesn't look quite like snow right now, nothing too impressive. But if we wait for that to dry, we can come back with another bit of our goop. Some of this golden acrylic medium. And we can make it look really nice and icy. So we'll come back for that in a moment. I think the last thing we need to do to this base, maybe is use some of this AK Interactive's, this AK Interactive puddles. We can have a few puddles here. Maybe it looked like it rained or something like that. Oh, sometimes this clogs here. Just kind of use our knife to open it back up. There we go. This is like an acrylic gel as well. So you just kind of goop it on and it will find its own level. It's already tinted like kind of a muddy water color. Make sure you don't have anything kind of sticking out and making it unsightly. So maybe there's a little bit of water there. It's a nice little product from AK Interactive. And I'm going to try to have some links to some of these products in the comment section, so check that out on the video. I think the last thing we need to do to this is just paint the base rim, and I'll give you another look at it after it dries, and we can see how that puddles effect looks once it's dried. Yeah, maybe just paint this base rim up so we can get a good look at it. Let's come back to this guy. See if we can get focusing on him. Yeah. So let's see what we can do with our So this I like to use this Liquitex string gel, but really any sort of gel medium that is clear and glossy is going to look good with this. We're basically going to use those fine filaments of the static grass, or well, it's the snow effects from Woodland Scenics, but it's kind of like a really short white static grass. We're going to use that to suspend some of this gel medium. And when it dries, it's going to look really nice, like an icy sort of look. You just paint that medium on there. If it overflows the edges, it will just kind of it will help blend things together. I'm just going to use a little bit of sort of brick color. To pick out some of these bricks and make them a little bit more visible. So we can get focused in there. Yeah, so we can kind of just use a little brick color to make those bricks stand out a little better. A little bit of gray in the ground. And that's going to be a pretty good looking base once that gel medium dries. So while it's drying, I like to just paint the base rim here. Hopefully you all enjoyed seeing how these bases have come together. We're going to show you a few pictures here at the end of the video to give you some inspiration about how you might use your own, gel mediums from Golden to make your little magic goop to do some really cool basing stuff in just a short amount of time. And with this, you can make really nice bases for a ton of models without spending a ton of time on each one. Of course, you can just use this as a starting point and make even more elaborate bases in the future. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have any questions or any ideas about future basing videos you might like to see how I might tackle those, go ahead and leave those in the comments, and you can always drop me a line on our Discord and ask me questions. I always try to get to all of those, although, yeah, I've been I always try to get to all of those. So hopefully I'll see you out there, maybe at the next convention. I'll be in Gen Con in August, and I'll also be at the Lock and Load Game Fest for at least one day this coming up here in this month. And that will be in Washington. So if there are any fans out there of War Machine and Hordes, it's always a great time, and hopefully I'll see you there. And, well, without further ado, well, from myself and from all of the other partners here at Miniature Monthly, I just want to thank everybody for tuning into our videos and for lending us your support. And I just really enjoy meeting all of you at conventions and hearing about your experiences with the videos. We're always trying to improve, so just let us know if there's anything you'd like to see in the future. And from all of us, I just want to give you a big thank you. So, good night, and paint bravely out there this month.